And I'll keep it 100 too. Even the fucking process, excuse my language, ladies. If we're sitting there having sex and
Whoa.
you messing up my pillows with all that caked up makeup, we got an
Makeup.
issue. Everybody, but welcome again. This is the Great Pill Podcast, and we have a great platform for you guys. We have Miss Ayana, of course, as always, Primal. You can check him out at Primal Studios on his YouTube and definitely Instagram. And my right hand wing woman, and my wifey, Miss Minka, also co and vice and president, how you want to call it, for the Great Pill. And if y'all want to introduce yourselves, go ahead. We'll start with Miss Ayana, since she's our guest.
Hey, I'm Ayana. Just happy to be on here. That's it.
Okay, appreciate it. Mr. Primal?
Hey everybody, Matt here with Primal Studies. Longtime follower and friend of Angelus, and recently connected with Minka. So happy to be a part of the chat.
All right, welcome. Miss Minky got a second too. She's pretty much in transition, helping out Finley real quick. So she's pretty much doing me a favor, and I'm continuing to show as they so to speak. But today we have a topic for y'all, a good one. Me myself, me and me could be talking about on the Great Pill. Like, I like to break down the basics when it comes down to relationships. And the first thing when you do a relationship is code approach. But we're going to switch it up. So normally, 99.9% of the time, the men is always approaching women. Now, how do women, or better yet, do women approach men? Because I don't see it. I don't hear about it. It seems like it's a rarity in itself. So what do y'all guys think? Primal, have you, in your years, your 20-something years of experience of living on this God green earth, still young and viral.
So kind. You're giving me a few less years than what I've accrued, so I appreciate that. No, it's been almost 40 years I've been on this earth, just shy, not quite there. But yeah, it very much depends on the situation, depends on where you are and what you got cooking and what you got going on in your life. So if you're quote unquote what some people in this space like to dub a high value man, if you will, or if you have a lot going on, or if you're a guy that's got a lot of good things going on, then yes, women will approach you. Again, it's not as often as the other way around. But if you're a dude that doesn't have stuff going on, then women probably aren't going to approach you. So I feel like the only realistic take for a woman to actually approach you is you to be a quote unquote high value man or have stuff going on, or people know that you got stuff going on and you're moving in a positive way. And it's still not a high percentage, but at least there's a percentage, as opposed to if you're a dude that's got nothing going on, then it's like, slim to none that a girl's gonna shoot her shot at you.
Yeah. I gotta play a little pet peeve for that one. So, what do you mean by got going on? Is it money? Is it looks? Is it game?
It could be all or any or some combination of that, right? You could be a great looking dude. Okay, if you're a great looking dude, some women are gonna shoot their shot at you. If you're a dude that's got a lot of money and people know you got a lot of money, there's some women that are probably gonna shoot their shot at you too. If you're a high level professional, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're somebody with some kind of celebrity status, women are going to shoot their shot at you too. So it could be a combination of any of those things. But if you have, some combination of looks, power, or status, I guess, if you will, then you have a chance in that regard, in my opinion.
Okay. What do you think?
It doesn't. You don't have to be like a millionaire, but you have to. Like, hey, if you roll up in a Beamer, then maybe, and you're a good looking guy, and you go to roll up to like a party, then maybe some women are gonna, come up and kind of talk to you a little bit. That's just been my experience, at least.
What if you're an ugly guy though, rolling up in a Beamer though? But we'll dive in that one. Yeah. But Yana, what do you think about that?
So basically, how do I feel about women approaching guys?
Yeah, just generally. Not have you experienced it? Have you done it yourself? Have you had girlfriends growing up? Okay, go ahead.
I've done it myself. That's actually how I met my husband.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it was more so of like we were both service members, and I mean he was just pretty quiet, but he was really cool. So I was just like, well, do you want to be friends? We were cool for a while, and then eventually I just shot my shot. and it was that. So it wasn't really like complicated. It was just more so of like becoming his friend first, I guess. And then like it just, I don't know, it went pretty smooth after that. Like it didn't feel forced or anything. And then like I even asked later on down the line, like, how do you feel about women approaching you? And he was like, well, I don't mind. So it was just, it was natural. It felt pretty natural.
Did he feel like it was more of a turn on when you did it
What did
versus
you
the
say?
pressure of most guys? Because us guys get a little bit pressured when we try to approach women. I
Mhm.
said, did you feel like it was more of a turn on for him to have a woman come to him, or did you know? Because most guys, when they do it, we pretty much have like a whole chess move strategy, and we feel
Yeah.
nervous just for the hearing the word no.
He said it was more so of like he ever actually never had like a woman like approach him in that way, I guess. So
Oh
it was
wow, really?
something new. Yeah, it was new.
If
So
you don't mind me asking, where's your husband from?
New York.
New York.
Yeah,
New
he's
York
from New
didn't get no
York.
girls approach you.
Well,
Okay.
I guess their approach is like different, real harsh, and like it's not the same from like down south where we're more like calm. I guess depending on where you're from,
Yeah.
but my approach wasn't like forceful. It was just more so of like, you seem pretty cool. We should hang out more, like outside of work. And then it went pretty good. It was nice.
Okay. So exactly how? Hey, hold on. I want to ask
I
you
had
one
to say
question.
something.
I want to dive in
Oh,
one second. Say this. So, how did you approach him though? Like, how does it actually work for you? Like, you say you saw him cute. Like, what was your approach?
so
Because guys are so
basically,
different.
we were getting ready to deploy, and we were gonna have like a 4-day pass before we had to actually fly out the country.
Hmm.
And I was just like, "Well, what are you doing for the 4-day?" He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna just stay in the barracks, play video games." And I was like, "Oh, you should join me and my crew. We just gonna get an Airbnb, kick it." And he was
Okay.
like, I don't know." And I was like, "Nah, it'll be cool. You should join us." So he joined us, and literally after the 4-day, he was like, "Oh, I don't regret coming. It was great." And then like we flew out the country, and we just became close over time, and then we ended up dating. And then after that, just like, I don't know, it was like a fairy tale, honestly. It just felt like a fairy tale. Everything was just going so smooth and nice.
Okay. What you got to say? What you got to say, wifey?
She sounds like Alicia Keys. Tell me, hey, you come into the shop and my boss could be getting mad at me because I'm using real milk, and I'm like, you had my heart immediately.
Yeah.
I think what she's saying is that like there's a difference between the girls. I think 100% where it's like there's the girls that are like, damn daddy, and like kind of catcalling,
Yeah.
versus like a very feminine and like proper, hey, I'm genuinely trying to get to know you. I like you. I
Yes.
like your vibe. I'd like you to move forward. I really love the way that you said all of that. I was like, I might shoot my shot if I find someone.
But I like that. That's
Yep.
pretty much little guyish does something like that too. Like we'll kind of ease into it and then see how everything works out. And then we'll just kind of like slip and like, hey, so you want to hang out a little bit more? Or how'd you like the night? Guys are different, but that's pretty much like one-on-one, quote unquote, guys moves. What do you think about that, Prime? You get the stamp of approval?
Yeah, I like it. And I think there's kind of a subtle nuance to when women shoot their shot. I would say there's kind of two flavors of women shooting their shot. There's the outright, "Hey, I like you. I want to hang out with you." And I feel like that's a small percentage.
Yeah.
But women more often when they shoot their shot is they actually just put themselves in the vicinity of the guy and kind of give off some vibes like, "Hey, I want you to come talk to me." Or they'll come up with some kind of innocuous, "Hey, what do you think about this?" or "What do you think about that?" And they'll kind of like start a conversation. And it's not
Hmm.
in an attempt to like, "Hey, oh man, I think you're hot. Let's go out." It's, "Hey, if you're at the gym," they're like, "Hey, can you show me how to use this piece of equipment?" And it's something like innocent. And it's more of just like they're putting themselves in a position for you, the man, to ask them out. That's kind of like, I feel like the more common woman shooting her shot is her actually putting herself in a man's orbit, and then he can shoot his shot. That's what I've seen more of personally.
I seen a lot of that. And the first one, I really don't like the first one. Like, I get it. Like, a real guy that can understand the code approach on that one. Hey, can you help me with this? Oh, I feel so weak. You're so manly. I get it. But if I actually come across daily now, if I come across a woman down that, I will not have respect for her. I'm just going to be honest. It just doesn't work out for me. Do you have friends like that, Ayana, that actually play those like kind of moves, or have
Yeah,
they picked
and
on?
I see girls all the time where like he said, they'll basically try to start conversation in like a little small way. But it's like if you want something, I just feel like go get it. Like don't be too forceful about it. But at the same time, it's like you only have one life and it's no point of being afraid of going to get what you want. So I just went for it.
Okay. And here you are
And it
now.
was either a yes or a no.
And here you are now, married.
Yes.
So it worked out for you. You're winning.
Yep.
Okay. Miss Mink, you have a little 2 seconds to jump in real quick to have anything to say that? Because I'm about to jump to a video we can react to about this subject matter.
I just don't think that women have enough. I don't think enough women know that they can do that. Hello?
Yeah. Now, what do you mean by
Okay,
that?
I'm like,
Just listening. Yeah, just listening. Yeah.
No, that's just
But
it. I
do you
don't
do
think
you
that. Go ahead.
go ahead? Oh, I was gonna
No, go
ask.
ahead.
Do you think if it's maybe not necessarily they know they can do it, but getting rejected is kind of hard and painful, right? So if you throw out an innocuous, hey, what time is it? You got a watch on? What time do you have? And the guy kind of just like brushes you off basically, then you kind of don't feel such a sense of rejection as opposed to if you just go, hey, you're really cute. Do you want to go grab coffee? And then the guy tells you no from that. That no feels a lot different than, hey, he kind of blew me off because he didn't really pick up the conversation when I laid it out there for him. So I feel like there's a big element of that is it's not that women don't know that they can't just go up and holler at a guy and be like, yo, man, I think you're cute. Let's go out. I think there's a low little bit of like fear of rejection, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean,
Well,
that's my 2 cents.
the problem, what I'm trying to say is that there's a stigma against it. So, like, most women, if you ask them, especially like a lot of the, I don't think I know a single woman that would approach a man. Like in my current surrounding, I don't think I know of a single one of those females that's ever gone up to a guy, and not in a really aggressive way, but in a genuine way of like, I want to get to know you. And this we're excluding like trying to pick up someone to go hook up with them, right?
But see, that seems more
I,
realistic when we hear about that. If you say that to us, we're like, okay, that sounds normal. But if we hear something like Miss Ayana say something like that, it's like, oh wow, that's cool. But it's like it's rare that I hear that.
Yeah,
Right, and
I
that's the
feel
part.
like
Oh, sorry. Let me just say this real quick. And that's the part that I'm trying to say. There's such a stigma because on half of the spectrum, when it's not pertaining to just picking up someone to go to have a one night stand, it's I don't chase, I attract. I'm a female, right? Or that guy needs to be the gentleman. He needs to make the move. He needs to be, quote, a man, right? But at the same time, we've been pushing men to not be men. Don't talk to me that way. Who do you think you are? So then it's at the end of the day, we in a hypothetical, beautiful heaven on earth kind of situation, I think the way that you've done it is absolutely perfect. Like women should be more comfortable because rejection is a part of life. That's part of the reason like women complain about not having like equal pay. And if you look at studies, part of the majority of the reason isn't because they're female, it's because they don't ask for it.
Okay, I agree
I
with that.
agree.
You had anything to say, Yana, before she had chimed in?
No, actually, she said everything.
Okay.
Hey, we got along real good.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a video. Go ahead, Mika.
I just want to apologize. I'm because you're very nice to me and not saying what it is. My mom is sick, so I'm just getting ready to head out and go take care of her, which is why my camera's off. So sorry, guys.
Oh, you're fine. Family comes first.
Mm.
And if anybody, again, I want to chime in and shout out for Primal Studies because pretty much what he teaches on his end is pretty much just a tribal, a unity, a positive one to help reinforce some more and just keep that ripple effect keep going. So definitely shout out to Primal Studies on his YouTube channel for preaching that consistently.
yeah, man, I'm a big believer in, you know, the energy you put out is the energy you attract, right? So if you're putting out good things, then good things are probably going to hopefully come back to you. And part of that is, you know, building a tribe and being a part of something bigger than you. So
Yeah, especially lessons too, because usually if the energy doesn't come back that you feel like you want, but you get it back where you need and deserve. And that's where you get the lessons from too. Because most people are like, well, I just gave him $100. I'm gonna think I'm gonna get 100. It don't work like that.
Well, there's an old famous song about you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, guys. So I'm gonna react to this little video. So give me a second, and let's see where we're going with this. All right, let me know if y'all guys can see it. Y'all can see the screen? Yes, no,
Yes.
maybe so. Okay, cool.
Yep. Sorry. Good.
All right.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Karma TV. I'm Charlotte Summers, and I've got a topic today which I'm sure you guys at home are really excited to find out the answer to.
Now, if you need to chime in anything, just let me know, and I will pause it, and we can discuss it. It's about 4 minutes long.
Women approach men.
The
Is it
British
right?
accent gets me smiling every time. I just gotta say that. Every time I hear a woman with a British accent, I'm like, oh, here we are. All right.
So we
anyway.
see
There
your
you go.
type.
There we go.
They feel it's just not their role. I'm not sure what it is, but let's find out.
Really ready for the situation that we were going to be leaving these days. Like, we didn't think that we were going to be, managing so many dating apps, and Tinder was going to be, like what runs the dating world kind of these days.
A lot of women are too scared to. We're intimidated by the fact that you've got to go over.
What was that? It just froze.
I would associate
okay.
a woman and a man to be like is how my parents brought me up to think, and my parents brought me up very traditionally. They think that as a woman you should be courted by a man and you should be approached by a man because the man should make the effort. It's a manly thing to do. And obviously going back, we were essentially gorillas and we were whatever. The man was.
Let me pause on that. So Ayana, Minka, so you think it's a manly thing for you, Ayana, because you're married, happily married, guessing with child, correct?
Yes. of
Okay,
course I
so
will.
did you feel manly the way you approached to your current husband now?
No. It was actually kind of different because the way I grew up, they always talked about, I guess, how back in the days, it wasn't really appropriate for women to like approach men or, they say it's basically like getting down on one knee proposing to a guy. But I feel
Oh wow.
like we're in a different, like, century, and I feel like there's nothing wrong with genuinely wanting to be someone's friend. And if it leads to more, then it is what it is. But it's like, I think it's okay, honestly.
Okay.
And I
And let me
mean, we're
and let me
doing
just
pretty
put
good.
and let me
So
just put a pin in it. And how old are you?
I'm 23.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So some of the traditions can be worked on and tweaked. So there you go.
Yes.
We need some sort of like a audio for when stuff like that happens, so we can have a big old cheering crowd. Because the fact that you're saying these things at 23 is kind of magical. So thank you for being a
No
really, really
problem.
good example.
All right.
was always taking control of a woman. So it's something that I guess now in this generation we are really breaking. And a lot of women, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, I have approached some men. I have sometimes, but I think I intimidate a lot of men. So for me to hold back, that's really important.
I think it depends on how you hold back too and how your approach
Because
is.
otherwise you can scare them. And if you do approach men, sometimes it's an ego thing for them and they don't like it. They get really intimidated by it. So yeah. So I think personally, I should probably hold back from being like that. And I would love a man to come over to me and make the effort.
Because they probably approach us first. I think it's probably there's a sort of fear of rejection. And I think, why would you want to deal with rejection when someone else would do it for you?
Make them do the hard work.
Exactly.
I think it's probably down to tradition and also feeling wanted. You kind of want to feel as if a man is actually going to make the effort enough to talk to you. And if they don't, then they're probably
Not worth it.
not worth it, or maybe not interested in you. So I think that's probably the reason.
I imagine that women don't approach men because of the reluctance to look desperate and the connotations that people make about women who do approach men,
It's that kind of fear of rejection.
much more than looking like someone who is desperate for attention, rather than someone who wants to be wanted by somebody
Hey,
else.
Angela, do you want to pause it there for a second?
Sure.
And this kind of came to me as they were kind of going through it, and you hear these common themes that come up a few times again and again. But and I'm curious if this point gets brought up, but I think a really strong element to this is women just don't have to make approaches, because women get so many men that will approach them that it's not even if they don't, like, if a woman doesn't approach a man, if she's an attractive woman, plenty of men are going to approach her and shoot their shot. Like, even if there's 10 guys that she's interested in. She goes to a party and there's 10 guys that she's interested. She sees, oh, there's 10 good looking guys here. Well, maybe there's one or two of the 10 that actually don't shoot their shot at her. And yeah, just okay. So 8 guys that were still attractive asked her out. Well, then what does she care if the other 2 didn't ask her out, because she had 8 already ask her out? You know what I mean? It's kind of just like a numbers game.
I agree. What do y'all think about that, ladies?
I think you guys are absolutely right.
Back in your heyday, Ayana, before you got betrothed and snatched and taken off the market, many guys came to you versus that you didn't feel the need to just approach a guy?
Yeah, honestly, it's still like that now, even with being married. But I just feel like it doesn't matter if it's one guy or 100. It's like, they can be attractive, but if it's something in them that I don't really want to see, versus like one guy that he really not checking for me right now, but I could see a potential, I'm gonna go for the other person. Like, I don't really care if the other guys are checking for me.
Okay, there you go. That makes sense.
And I think a good way of illustrating this is if you take let's just put people on the classic 0 to 10 scale. And if you take a guy that's a 7 or 8 and you look at his Bumble app and you see how many right swipes he has waiting on his inbox, and you look at his and maybe he has 5 or 6, and then you take a girl that's a 7 or an 8 and you look at her inbox, she's going to have, instead of 5 or 6, she's going to have 50 or 60. And any girl can open up her Bumble or her Hinge or her Tinder, and she's going to have just an inbox full of people that were guys that were swiping right. Whereas guys, you're only you're going to have a tenth of that maybe. So just that, I feel like that's a real world illustration of how many more women just get it thrown at them. They get it thrown at them. They get it thrown at them. So why would they have to be the one throwing? It's like an overabundance of people. So
yeah. I agree. I definitely agree.
It's more in the role of men to approach women, but also some women lack of confidence as well. So they feel like
Fear of rejection, the confidence thing.
yes, exactly.
I don't believe in women approaching men, period. I just think a man should be a man.
Sweep you off your feet and make the most move.
Pretty much, exactly.
Well, I think a lot of women don't approach men because they're not open enough, or they think that the man should always make the first move. But I think in the 21st century, women should really be approaching men.
I don't know why. It's just off subject. I'm feeling that little outfit. It's not Halloweenish. It's like Wiccan or something. I don't know. That's kind of cool little green dress she got on. I don't know. That's just me. I feel like she can pull it. She's pulling it off.
I mean, I do it all the time.
I feel like I was being really forward, and I'm just quite traditional, so I kind of like the man to come to me. So I think if I was going up to a guy, I think I don't know, I'd be a bit shy about doing it.
I think that women like the flattery of being approached. We don't want to, it's like a game, and society's taught us that the game is for men to approach us. I'd never approach a man, I don't think.
I think there's a traditional view that a man should be the first to approach a woman, or a man should be the first to take action, which is why I think women have been reluctant to allow the man to do his thing, really.
Because it's tradition that the man has to act in that way. That's why.
I ain't gonna lie, Primal, that accent is getting me on that one. This is the accent.
That last one, yeah.
No, this one right here, this is me. I appreciate it. Yeah.
And I don't know if everybody else can see the video. I can hear the audio just fine, but I don't have the
Yeah,
video up
I
anymore.
can't see it. I can just hear it.
Okay, let me reshare that. I apologize. Let me do that. Okay, can you see it now? Did I kick something?
Yeah.
You got it. Yep, all good.
Okay, cool. Appreciate you. Rewind that back just a little bit.
Man has to act in that way. That's why we are more feminine, and they are supposed to be approaching us because they hunt us and we let them hunting us.
So there we have it. It ultimately comes down to two main factors. First being tradition. Lots of ladies out here feel like it's
All right, we'll stop it there. She pretty much just chatted on, but that's pretty much the gist of that one. But yeah, besides the accent, I'm agreeing with everything else the lady's saying. Me personally, I just feel like I don't know, just with the day and age that Ayana spoke of earlier, I feel like they need to be more aggressive women on how you approach men. Like you said, if I like you, I want you. So let me approach in a way. I wouldn't even, me personally, I prefer aggressive women in that sense. But even if you got to have a friend to say, hey, go tell him, because me back in the day, and I'm pretty much throwing my age out there, it used to be like, hey, your friend, that the girl that actually like you will actually tell the friend to go talk to you real quick so she can get the yes to no signs and then come back to you. And then if you say yes or whatever she feels accepting, then she will come out the car or come around the corner and then start approaching you. So I'm fine with that. But traditionally, we need to just kind of push to the side, and especially women, if you get a certain age or you feel like you're not getting the right type of guys, then why not just go and shoot your shot?
I don't know if I agree with everything you just said.
Sure, let's go.
Or maybe it's just like the panicky like female in me that's like, no, I don't want to go approach men. But I will say that I think I agree that it should be more socially acceptable. I think that it should be looked at as a positive thing when women do that.
Would you do it?
Hell to the no.
Whoa. Well, why
But
not?
why not? The reason is the type of man that I'm looking for. I know myself. Like if I have to be the person to make the move with the guy, I'm gonna be dominating that relationship.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a very dominating
I see
personality.
Primal
I
shaking
need
his
some.
hand. What you have?
I was
what
gonna say, yeah, there's
I
an element of confidence, right? So a confident
right.
man, if he wants you, he's gonna approach you, right? And a lot of
Exactly.
like, what's one of the most popular when women talk about what do they find attractive in a man? Confidence is always on that short list of the top 5 things,
Absolutely.
right?
Okay.
So
Right.
if you're a confident man and you see a beautiful woman, you're gonna go talk to her,
Shoot your
right? I
shot.
mean, you're gonna shoot your shot. If you're a single confident man and there's a beautiful woman, the mindset should be, quote unquote, that you're going to go talk to her, you're going to go get her number, you're going to go ask her out for coffee, you're going to do the approach. If the man doesn't, and he doesn't have a reason to not approach her, then the woman might perceive him to be lacking confidence because, hey, there's this good looking dude, I'm a good looking lady, why is he not coming up to me? Is he not confident to come up to me? Well, then he kind of maybe drops down a peg or two because she thinks he's not confident. I'm just extrapolating a little bit here, but I think that's some of the
That's exactly
mindset.
what it is.
Yeah.
No, that is exactly what it is. And because it's not like I've always been this way. I have been the girl to make the first move. I have tried saying like just like you tried, where it's I like you, it seems like you like me, you want to take this further. I've tried multiple things, but at the end of the day, what I've realized by understanding myself is that I can't be with someone that's not gonna like want to say like, bitch, shut up, you're annoying me right now. Like and typically like the guys that aren't even able to have the confidence to approach me are not going to have the confidence to speak up for themselves. They're not going to have the confidence to like tell me like, hey, I think you look really pretty today, or just any of those things. And so it's just a snowball effect where it's I've decided like that's not for me. And on the other side, Primal, like you're 100% right, where it's like when you have a bunch of options that are approaching you, you're not thinking about the ones that aren't.
And here's another element to that too. And the guy, part of him maybe not approaching a woman is for whatever reason he doesn't find her attractive. And I think women maybe get a sense of that, and they're like, hey, I know I'm a beautiful woman, but maybe I'm not his type, and I'm not going to go talk to him and holler at him because I know I'm beautiful, but I'm not his type, and then that's why he's not approaching me. Like it's not there's anything wrong with me, it's not that there's anything wrong with him, it's just I'm not what he's looking for. So why am I gonna put myself out there for somebody that's probably not interested, right?
Right.
Okay. I'll put a pin in that one. So I just want to introduce Poppy. What's going on, Poppy Blanco?
How you
If
doing,
anybody,
man?
if anybody know
Hi.
Mr. Poppy Blanco, he's from previous other podcasts out here. A good friend of mine from up north, my brother from another mother. So how you doing, Poppy?
Hey, man.
You got any?
Hangover, bro. I'm hangover.
Happy New Year, man.
Oh my God,
All
you're
the debt.
struggling.
Yeah, I was.
Hey, do you have any thoughts or 2 cents you want to add to the topic of today or
The
tonight?
topic is why women in approaching men.
Yeah, why women not approaching men? Do they feel comfortable? Like, what's your thoughts on it? I don't know if you saw the little the video I posted earlier. Women was
Yeah.
giving their reasons. Mika was voicing her opinions on both sides. Miss Ayana was talking about some other viewpoints, and she's actually was one of the women that actually approached her man, married, got the ring, the bling bling, and and successful marriage so far.
Well, I think you should go after what you want. So she said she you approached the man,
I approached my husband.
and can you tell me like where this happened if you don't mind?
We were deployed, and to make a long story short, like we basically were gonna have like a weekend off before we went out of country, and I just kind of invited him out to hang out with us, and then we kind of kick it for a little bit, and then we became close, and then eventually we started dating, and then we just went from there.
Also, you're like army brothers and
Yes,
sisters kind of in a way.
yeah. Well,
Also,
yeah, but
you were stuck with him at the base. Then what? You were seeing this man often, right?
mhm.
Also, it's
But
easy
at
for
one
you.
point he was actually shipped to another country. So if he didn't want to make it work, we could have just called it quits. But I feel like he was interested, so we just kept it going.
Also, it was easier for you because you actually was seeing him in the like
hmm
real often.
Yes.
Yeah, but women do not approach men because most females are entitled. You see what I'm saying? And especially the pretty ones. The pretty the
Yeah,
girl is,
Mika. I feel like Mika. Her last comment feel a little titled because and I'm throwing jabs now. So
yeah.
But I wouldn't even say it's entitlement. It's just what it is, right?
I'm gonna
Like
go ahead
beautiful
and let
women,
you guys say
beautiful
Ed.
women just get stuff thrown at them, right? Well, just not even beautiful women, but just pretty people in general, right? Like
yeah,
there's so many statistics out there that basically say pretty people live an easier life,
pretty
just because
privilege.
you have pretty privilege, and especially if you're a pretty woman, like you just have so many opportunities. Like in terms of dating, you just have so many opportunities, even more so than a pretty man, so or a handsome man or whatever term you want to throw out there.
Yeah,
But
Yep. I think pretty woman got it easier though than men. I don't
They
care
do.
how beautiful the man is. Trust me, he still got to go towards whatever girl he wants.
and it's
A
still
woman
gonna be a
don't.
chance of a no, yes or no.
Yeah, a woman. She didn't even have to be beautiful. I even seen big old girls be entitled, like, oh,
Yeah,
he gotta approach me, this and that. Well, like, what? Like, girl, you should. This, like, I remember when I started messing with Duke and Dom, it was a girl in there. Talk about she had like two kids, something like that. And then she was, oh, the man gotta approach me. He gotta be the total provider. I'm like, and I would even look at the man that made 40,000. I'm like, girl, you got 2 kids and you had to
too
tell the
picky.
man you still be picky.
He's got to fly too.
Yeah, exactly.
well, and I would almost say it's almost the natural order of things, because if you look at it from just like a purely biological perspective, if you look at a man and a woman's relationship, a woman is physically made to receive a man, right?
Okay.
So if you look at it just from a basic biological perspective, the man is supposed to come to the woman, if you will, and the woman is supposed to receive the man. So that's, I mean, if we break it down to that very fundamental level, I think it kind of bubbles up from there.
Yeah, you are raised that way because think about it. If you a boy, ever since you little, what your mom and dad told you. Or you
Yeah,
got to be nice to a girl, look for a good woman. You got to open their doors, all that good stuff, right? If you're a little girl, what you told your little girl, or you got to look for a man. You see what I'm saying? A good man, a protective provider. So you are being raised that way. You see what I'm saying? From little. So females are raised to pretty much to sit back and wait for the men to be
Yes.
Superman. That's about it.
hmm but I pretty much want to because I definitely want to play devil's advocate on this one
You
because
always do, man.
yeah, I got you, bro.
But that's what keeps it interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like this would be a boring discussion if we were all like, yeah, no, it sounds good. Next page, right? Yeah.
Oh,
Because
you totally right.
Yeah, because I'm pretty much speaking for the other guys. Because Mika said something earlier, and it's like, and she said, "You're not manly if you're not doing this." And this is what she prefer. Or no, she said she will take control. She knows she will take control of a relationship, and maybe the guy might be like a little bit of shy, or he might have been timid, or might like a suggestions the other women on the video said, don't want to take the chance of shooting their shot because it might go south. And so women like Ayana could, said, hey, you know what? If he's not, I will. And then it comes back a little bit down to Primal because, like I said, and I'm just thinking in the past, Ayana, you correct me if I'm wrong. The way of thinking of how you perceived it, just on the dating aspect. Hey, we was comfortable with each other. Let me just casually ask him out. Now, if he would have said no on the dating aspect, you're like, okay, it's all good.
We're still friends.
We're still friends. And hey, I got other guys may possibly come down the line. I'm living my best life. I got my career going and such. That's how I see it. So you're still a win-win on a dating aspect. But when it comes to, that's why and then if you date him, you're pretty much living proof. So because I had women hit on me. I'm gonna be honest. In my past, I had one propose to me. I had one shoot they shot with me. I had one send me a voicemail shooting their shot.
Was this all like where you currently live?
No, this is from Jersey, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, in the States.
So it's well rounded.
Don't let him fool you. This is all last month.
I'm dead.
No, I think she's trying to throw a jab like only in Alabama.
No, I'm trying to paint a picture because it's also you and I've talked about it, that the statistics vary and they're different when it comes to
I agree.
Metropolitan areas versus.
I agree. I'm pretty much just throwing a jab at you, a jab to the point of, or just like I said, just playing devil's advocate to the point where, and I don't want you to change your mindset of how you want, but just to keep.
So you're attacking me.
Yes, I am.
Go on.
Yes, I am. But just pretty much just give an open, broad conversation to the so-called, not you, but now I'm speaking to generalizing other women, the so-called independent women, the boss babes, the go-getters. So if you're so much a go-getter and you're so much the boss babe, if that's your man, just like us as guys, shoot your shot. If we're in this new era now where women can do it all, shoot your shot.
Well, I think there's something really important to understand too. Like, I want to say your name correctly. It's Ayana, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, Ayana, you have a beautiful energy, which is like very, very balanced. You have a military background, yet you seem very like safe and nurturing. And even the way that you talked about approaching your now husband was very like feminine and not aggressive. And that is the key element that I think is kind of making it seem a different type of way. Like, because I'm so dominating and all that crap, like I had to learn how to be more feminine to allow a guy to approach me. The problem with those boss babes and all that stuff is that they're so aggressive, and so it's got to be this way, it's got to be that way. Don't nobody want to come near you. I'm scared of you. Like,
well, I think the relationship turns into like a competition then, right? So if you have two people that both are like in charge, then you're gonna butt heads. Like somebody has to quote unquote,
someone needs to submit.
Or somebody's quote unquote needs to be the leader, or whatever way you want to term it. But like if you get a quote unquote boss babe and then like a big alpha guy, like it's probably gonna go like this. It's like you're gonna be butting heads. You might have some like wild chemistry friction in the sheets when it first starts, but as it goes on, one of you is gonna have to let the other kind of lead. And I think those two types of archetypes, if you will, they would struggle because, hey, I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. And then nobody's leading anybody because you're both wanting to do your own thing.
Okay.
Right. Well, I think sorry.
Go ahead, Ayana.
Oh, I was just going to say, when he said, like, someone has to be the leader, I was raised basically to where, like, the man is supposed to lead, like, be the head of the household and in the relationship. But at the same time, in a way, it's like my husband's more so laid back, real chill, won't say much unless it's necessary. And then there's me. I'm very outspoken. I say what needs to be said. And sometimes I speak for the both of us because I feel like, well, if you won't, I will. So in a way, it's like a balance kind of, because depending on the situation, sometimes he'll have to step in and then on the other hand, sometimes I'll have to. So I just feel like it's good to have a
Do you
balance.
feel like
Yeah.
you're taking control of the relationship, or you feel like you letting your husband be the man and you be the woman when it needs to be?
Yes, I just let him be the man. I be the
Exactly.
woman. I had to learn how to submit a little bit because most of the women in my family, they're very dominant. And it's like, I have a grandfather, I have a grandmother, but I was always looking at my grandma as the head of the household. But it's like, I didn't really want mine to be that way because it's like sometimes I feel like you have to let a man just be a man. So I wanted us to have like a pretty great balance.
And I guess when I say lead, don't take it as an absolute black or white. Take it as a gray pill, if you will. See what I did there? But
There you go. I love Primal.
so but like take it in a family relationship, right? So I have my kids and I'm the leader of my little family unit, right? But it's not like I don't get input from my kids. It's not like I don't do the things they want. It's not like there's times where I let them lead the charge and like, hey, we want to do this thing. All right, cool. You know, pick out what we're doing and I'm along for the ride. But there comes certain points where it's like, all right, this is a big decision, right? And somebody's got to make the final call, right? And the leader of the relationship pretty consistently is probably that person. It's not like you don't get input or you know, do the things the other person says, but like there's going to be times where somebody has to be the person making the call, right? And I think that's where I go with the leader. It's not you're leading everything. It's not you're dominating them. It's not like you're like, I need to know exactly where you are right this second. You better FaceTime me or we're done. Like not that kind of thing. Like that's crazy. But like just when it comes to the major massive, where are we going to go with our life? Where are we going to live? What, you know, that's are those kind of things. Like somebody has to be the final, like, all right, this is what it is. We brought all our, you know, information to the table and I heard what you had to say. Here's what I had to say. And I think this is the best thing for our family, right? Or our team or whatever way you want to put it. So I guess sometimes people take that leadership as like total domination and like you have to do, it's almost like a slavery aspect of like you have to do everything I say the way I say it. And that's not like good leaders don't do that. Like good leaders, you let your team do their own thing most of the time. But then when it comes to the big thing, you have to be the one to take the responsibility too. So like you have to be willing to make the final call and also take the responsibility for that call. I think that's an important piece to it too.
And let me ask this to Mika, and I'll let you chime in, Poppy. So, what do you mean by when we said if you have to approach it, then you're going to be the dominating one in a relationship? So, what do you mean by you're being the dominating one in a relationship? Like just to break that down a little bit.
Meaning, if I'm going to say a couple of things and then I'm going to go because I feel like I keep getting booted off and I'm just distracting at this point. But it's number one, by dominating, it doesn't necessarily mean kind of how it sounds where do as I say kind of thing. It's more of in that dynamic because it's not someone that wants me equally. It's someone that maybe, how do I say this? When it comes to everyday things like, hey, where do you want to eat tonight? I'm more, how do you say? I want to be a beta. It's kind of, she took the words right out of what I was already saying, which is if you're a boss chick or whatever the term is nowadays, if that's what you are and that's what you claim you are and you don't want to settle and you're not willing to give and you're not willing to negotiate and you're not willing to quote submit, which is an actual choice, it's not something that's forced upon you, then you're not going to find the kind of guy that you're actually looking for, which is usually you want someone that's better than you. You want someone that's going to lead you or guide you or protect you or all those things, right? And so the problem with that is that if I were to go with a guy that wasn't able to have the balls enough to talk to me and approach me thinking that he's not good enough or that I'm going to say no or whatever, which is still really, really hard, not to like just brush it off. It is very hard.
Okay. So you're saying you would be more appreciative of the guy that actually approached you, knowing that it's more
because it's going to be more give and take with that kind of person. I know myself already that like I've learned how to be more feminine, so I'm not aggressive like I used to be back in the day, but I am still a very forceful presence. And so if someone has the capacity to be forceful with me, then that means that they are able to, like, when we're going out to dinner and I say, hey, I want to have sushi, and they're like, you know, we've had it 3 times this week, I don't really want that. That's a healthy relationship to me. The issue that I have is when I say okay to the guy that's not willing to approach me. I'm going to say I want sushi every single day. They're going to say, absolutely, I love sushi when they're getting sick and tired of it. They're going to get upset at me. Eventually, there's going to be a fucking blow up. It's just, I think it's a lot deeper than just not approaching or not approaching. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's kind of like a domino effect. So if that same guy approaches a girl that he's not afraid to approach, that he's not scared of rejection with, that he is interested in, he will then be the more dominating or leader effect in that relationship and be able to say what he wants and what he doesn't want. So it really comes down to like I'm looking for someone, because I'm not like I'm not playing the games anymore kind of thing. I'm kind of like looking for quality in the next person I want to date. And I always say I'm in LA, so it's kind of really hard.
Yeah.
It is. Like, I mean, I'll say this. Last night was New Year's, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got approached by several guys, and I know I've learned the game. I know what it is. I know like when there's like one dude that was like in a suit and tie, and he's like walking back and forth in front of me. I'm like, I'm going to turn around and not engage whatsoever, right? That's a game. I don't want to play games. I'm looking, and like there's 3 guys that are talking and looking at me like they're talking about me. I turn around again. I'm not going to engage, because those are all things that like even girls replace the guys with girls. When girls do that, it's still a game. It's not straight to the point. I'm looking for someone that wants straight to the point. Someone that's like, hey, this is me. That's you. Let's get together. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how it works out.
Yeah, but at the party, you feeling yourself, getting jiggy with it. Next thing you know, like, hey, I think you're cute, good. What's going on? You didn't want to do that? Because he might feel shy. I said, you at the party getting jiggy with it. Next thing you know, you turn around. Okay, he's cute. Hey, do you want to hang out? Do you want to just have a little dance on the side? And then you start doing that little slow step approach to asking him out in a feminine way. You didn't want to do that?
This is good right here.
I want to. I hear what you're saying, but I know myself enough to. Look, dude, I got a lot of shit going on, meaning work-wise, emotional capacity, understanding, sometimes overanalyzing and having to reel it back and be a normal person. So I mean, look at this podcast that we're doing, right? Every show that we've been on, it's like deep talk. This is my shit. This is my jam. This is fun to me, right? So I need someone that's going to have the capacity to look within themselves to know if they're worth, or if they're able to have that level of confidence. It doesn't matter where I go. I have confidence for the most part. I think I'm like pretty sure about that.
I
right?
think I'm confident.
Like,
I think I'm confident. That's awesome.
No.
Right there.
It's a very.
That's what I said. This is good right here.
Hey, Primal. I'm sorry. Hey, Primal. Remember the most of women like Sex in the City? She have like all those stickers on the mirror. I think I'm beautiful today. You go, girl. You go do your thing. Then walk right out the door. But go ahead.
It's meaning. I when I said that, I was trying to remember if there was a time where I felt uncomfortable or not confident going into a situation. It's like, yeah, when I go to a place and I don't know anybody, I'm gonna go in there like a normal human being and not feel confident or comfortable because I don't know anybody. But I'm still gonna reach my hand out and be like, and go to a group of girls like, hey, my name's Mika. Nice to meet you guys. Like, what do you like? You know what I mean? You walk through that fear. I want to find someone that has the confidence to walk through fear. That's what it is. That's the best way to describe it.
And what I'm hearing from you, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it's like the man that doesn't have the confidence to approach you, that's like the tip of the iceberg in his character traits. And you're seeing this small little tip of the iceberg. And you're like, hey, I feel like this shows that underneath this, here's these other character traits. And that's not the tree I'm looking for, right? Like, all right, he's kind of showing me here on the exterior, on the tip of the iceberg, that he's not super confident, right? So what else does that dive down into? And then I don't even waste my time with it. That's kind of what I'm.
Well, and there's a flip side too, though.
Yeah, that's what I say. Wouldn't that be a little bit overthinking? Because when she even mentioned the conversation about like the dinner thing, and then like, okay, if I'm eating the same thing for 5 times, and he doesn't check her, so it's like then she might look like, ew. To me, that's a you problem. That's not the guy problem. Now I understand if you want the guy to speak up on you about it, and I'm just using this as just a opening topic of that. But to me, that sounds like that's a you problem. So if you want to, hey, if my baby want to eat shrimp every day, let her eat shrimp every day.
Right,
You know what I'm
but what
saying?
I'm saying is it's the guy. I'm not talking about the eating part. I'm talking about if he doesn't want to eat shrimp every day and he's not saying it, that's
Hmm.
eventually going to lead to a problem.
Nobody,
That's my
nobody wants a
issue.
doormat, right? And that's kind of what
And
I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
yeah,
That,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
that's
Why
what
would
I'm
that
trying.
lead
And
to a
but there's
problem though?
the flip side of it is at the same time you've got like these guys that are like I'm a Mac, right? Like the level of confidence is so high that they're also like they have a lot of toxic characteristics and like it's my way or the highway, you must obey me, I'm the leader. Like they are the ones that manipulated the term leader and submit to have it a negative connotation when it's really a beautiful experience. And
And
it's go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, I think a lot of they're Macs, they're not actually all that confident. It's a
No, they're
total,
they're
it's a
they're the
total
most
cap,
insecure
right?
mofos.
It's like a total
100%.
cap, and it's like overcompensating. And
Mm-hmm.
I think true confidence is you don't have to tell everybody how bad you are, right? You're
Facts.
just you're just a bad man because you're a bad man, right? You don't have to go around telling
Exactly.
everybody you're a bad man. You're just a bad man and you live that life. That's what confidence is. Like when you're going around telling everybody, "Oh, I did this and I did that," and
Alpha.
then you're just like you're kind of
You're
trying too
not.
hard.
You're exactly. And
Yeah.
and that's why I'm bringing it up because there's a flip side to it because these bitches will run off with it like I need a man. That's where they go off. They're like I need a man to come up to me because then he's not confident. Like bitch, shut up and sit down. What do you bring to the table? You have to know yourself to really understand. And I'm not saying like what do you bring to the table on the level of like success that you have as a female. It's what it's
Like
what we
your
were just
character,
talking
right?
about.
Your morals, your
No,
values, your
nope,
virtues.
that's not.
Like what of
That's not
that
it.
do you bring? No?
That's no, because
Oh,
that
okay.
we already know that. That's already a given. It has to do with as a female, if you want that, if you want the man, are you supportive? Are you nurturing? Are you able to submit? Are you wanting to submit? If you have such a negative connotation of what submit actually is, submitting means I have a man that knows more than me and I trust him. I trust him to make those big decisions when shit hits the fan. I trust him to protect me.
Okay.
In turn, I'm gonna need to know how to submit. I'm not gonna be able to access those benefits if I'm like saying all the time that I don't need him.
Okay, so if it comes down to that, right? Let's just say
Mhm.
either he senses it and take controls, or you just say, "Hey, babe, this is the issue, the problem," and he addresses it. Does that mean you're going to be combative with it? If he's
Well, that's part of submitting.
okay,
That's part of submit. That's the part of like I had to, and this is when I say like
this
I
is
don't
just
get
any
mad at
man, or it just have to be your man?
repeat that question, sir.
Is it just any man, or does it have to be just your man?
In
Because
regards
if
to
just decision making, it could be anything. It could be your like the elder, like your dad, your grandfather, or your boyfriend, your fiance. You know. So if we're saying all that,
no,
so okay, I'm just throwing it out there. So if we're
no,
saying
it's
that, shouldn't it be like, okay, well, if the guy I'm with, a typical date, he's not even, y'all not even exclusive, but he sees the certain things. Let's say you mentioned about the dinner thing, okay, a couple of times, and he pretty much just checks you on it, like, hey, I don't want to eat, like you said, I don't want to eat shrimp or sushi like 5 times in a row. Like, can we do something else? Like right then off the bat, he's not on that exclusive title. Y'all don't got no real title. He's not your husband, not your fiance. You know, is it just any man, or is it just like it got to be the man, or am I saying something out the box?
I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Because you're mentioning, you keep saying, you were saying submit, and then I'm trying to correlate with submit with the specter of you're saying that if I'm doing something and a guy is checking me versus the confident booster and versus just not being a simp, not being a beta. Like, does it have to be just you qualifying this typical guy as my man? Could it be any guy? Because some guys have confidence too. They don't have to shoot their shot with you, but you could be with just you're a good close guy friend, and he might say, "Hey, I don't want to do this 5 times." Like, is that a
Oh
deal
yeah,
breaker?
no. That's not a deal breaker in friendships or anything. Like, is that I'm trying to again.
No, I'm
can
just
someone
speaking of
else
just the
explain
whole
this?
guy. No, I'm just speaking of the whole
Can
guy
some
perspective on that. So that's what I'm just saying. Just to correlate, is it just your man that could be in that way, and you say, "Hey, I accept him to be checking me on that."
Oh, are you
Yeah.
asking me? Are you asking me? Do I submit uh, in different relationships in my life, whether it's
Correct.
father figure, family, friends? 100%, because I have had. That's how you practice. Like I have a couple male friends. Like I mean, even one last night. We were talking about it and he was laughing because there was one night we are talking on the phone and it was really late and it was raining and I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm gonna go to In-N-Out. It's pouring rain and he's like, I really don't think you should do that, Anna. It's really late. Just DoorDash something, right?
Mhm.
And I'm like, nah, it's okay. It's only like 90% rain, right? It's only 90% precipitation. It'll go down like 10 miles, right? This is the stubbornness that I'm talking about that's playful at the moment but can lead to something else. And so when I messed up, which is I went in the rain and I went to In-N-Out, I like came back and it was pouring rain. It was windy. I didn't even know I was in California anymore. I was like, what the hell is going on? And so I ended up sitting in the car for like 2 hours waiting for it to go. I know I'm such a freaking LA girl.
I'm
but
waiting for the
still-
guy's reaction, but go ahead, handle your business.
I know. I'm still like on the phone talking and laughing about the fact that I'm sitting in my car afraid to go out of my car back in the house when originally he had said, I really don't think you should do that, Anna. I would prefer if you stayed in the house. Me learning is when that happens, you were absolutely right. I should have shut my mouth and ordered DoorDash.
Okay,
And the next time that happened, I didn't go. Next time that he gives me another piece of advice, I'm taking that advice.
Okay,
Next
so
time he
what-
says like, oh, go ahead.
So what happened to after that story? So did you reach out to the guy, and what was his reaction after that?
He was on the phone with me the whole time. He was laughing at me. Like, what are you doing?
Okay, that makes sense. You had anything to say, Poppy?
It was Poppy.
Yo, I want to go back to when she say, how many guys was trying to holler at you last night, yo?
I think she like 3 or 4.
All of them, Poppy. All of them. Go on, man. You know how
I
it
want
is.
to hear the number from her.
I don't want to say.
No, come on,
More
baby.
than 5?
Your confidence, right?
I'm gonna say, if you went out on New Year's Eve in LA-ish area, I'm gonna say you got at least 10 guys that came up and talked to you.
Yeah.
How
At
many?
least.
Lisa?
Is it? Give us an over
You want me
or
to-
under.
you want me to
Is it
actually
more or
count it
less
out?
than 10? How about that? Over or under 10?
I'm looking at your story right now. So how many?
Yo!
See, I know what's up. Don't no.
Yo!
And I
I
can
was bored.
tell
I was
you
bored
was
at night, but not
looking
last
bomb.
night. Come on. Yeah.
I can tell you was looking bomb as hell last night. So how many
Hey,
guys was trying to holler at you?
It was more than 10. I'm gonna leave
More
it at
than
that.
10?
It was more than 10. Yeah.
So and you ain't get your number to none of them, right?
No.
All right. Why? Because you was at the club.
Yeah, I'm not gonna find my man at the club.
Was
Are
it
you
a club?
joking?
Was it a club?
Yeah, it was a club.
So hold on. This is good right here. This is good.
And that's
What-
why she doesn't have to approach guys, because she got 10 guys shooting their shot. She's looking like a bum. See, this is my point.
that's what I was going. So hold on.
Hey,
So,
real quick
so-
though, just remember I also look like a bum.
Yo, she's
Okay?
like, I'm gonna show my
You look
face.
great, baby. You
Like
look
I
great.
also look like a bum and I wear men's clothes the rest of like the week. Okay, that's like one time out of the week.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Well,
ahead.
hold
sir,
on,
Poppy.
Mika. So hold on. So 10 guys was trying to holler at you, right?
Uh-huh.
And you say, but you already went there. Your mind is already made up. I will not talk to guys at the club, right?
Pretty much.
What
Like
do you got? Why is that though?
Because it how do I say this? The kind of person that you want to find, you have to look for them in the kind of places that you want to find that person. If I want to find someone that wants commitment, that wants to respect each other, that all that stuff, I'm not going to go and find him at the club where there's a bunch of girls that are wearing nothing, or that they're going to the strip club after, or that they're doing drugs. I'm not going to find it there.
That makes no sense, girl. I'm sorry, man.
How does that
like-
not
I
make any
think-
sense?
Hold on.
Because you can
Go
find your
ahead.
The
husband like
place shouldn't
anywhere.
matter at all. The place
Yeah.
where you meet somebody. So let me get. So my homegirl right here, she met her husband. What is that? The army. So let's just assume they both were Navy SEAL. They're trained to kill people. So she should have turned him down because this nigga's a killer.
No, that's a protector.
Not necessarily, but okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay,
Well,
but
I will say this. It's not. Well, I will say this. It's not. There's no like black or white. This is the gray pill. So what I'm trying to say is, if a guy were to come up to me, correct, and he's not fucked up, and he's not all coked out, and he's not like I didn't just see him walking back and forth trying to find what crazy skank is gonna chase after him, and he's not like coming up to me like, hey mama, like over the top or like simping, like, and he comes to me correct and like actually wants to get to know me outside of there and like tries to get to know me and be respectful in that situation. 100%. I'm not just gonna say no because we're at the club. Like,
all right, so y'all heard it here, fellas. So as soon as you go into the club, go up in there.
But I'm gonna
Ma, what's going on with you? Hey, Ma, what's going on with you? I'm just keeping it real and honest, you know. But the women on the outside, and I'm just throwing for shits and giggles for the club aspect. Women, when they go in the club, Yana, Mika, you can contest this. When you go in the club with your girlfriends, are you really trying to look for a man? Or are you trying to have a good time?
I'm gonna call it cap because homegirl, she said she had over 10 guys trying to holler at her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm pretty sure they're trying to holler at her. Like I said, I saw her story. Now she was looking right, right?
Thank you,
So,
thank you. I tried.
Hold on, but you kind of like, that's kind of crazy that you say, oh, I wouldn't. So even if a guy would have came at you correct, you already got this thing on your head to go by that you ain't gonna, by no means necessary, you was gonna holler back because you ain't gonna talk to guys at the point. It's already in your head.
Let me go ahead and cut you off right there. Let me give you an example of someone that did come up to me correct that was from a fucking club. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't share this story with anybody. God, I'm so so my New Year's resolution is like not caring and just being straight up about everything and not hiding myself, right? And I haven't told even my girlfriends this story. This guy, I met him at the club, never knew him before. The whole time this man is staring at me and it made me uncomfortable. I'm like, what the hell? And so at the end of the night, I was with a girlfriend, and to answer your question, Angelus, most of my girlfriends that when they are getting ready to go out or they're going out, they are going out with the anticipation of finding the dude. Whether it's the man for them, their soulmate, a guy to sleep with, whatever it is, they are going with that anticipation. So I'm gonna that's like literally, I don't think any of my girlfriends are saying, it's not like Dane Cook's thing of like, no guys, just let's dance tonight. Like, it's not like that at all. And I literally get ditched all the time by girls that are like, oh, I'm bringing this guy, or I'm going home with this guy, or I'm doing this. That's why I usually go out. Anyways, so this guy is staring at me. He comes, and we're at separate tables, and he comes from his table and moseys on over to my table, comes straight to, like, goes through a group of guys, and it's the guys' table that I'm hanging out with, goes through them and passes them straight to me. And he reaches out his hand and he asks, like, can I talk to you? And I'm like, okay. And so I stepped down because I was on like the elevated thingy. And I stepped down, and then he's like asking me, like, can I get your, or doesn't ask me for my number right away. He's like, can I get to know you? And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you want? And this is me like with my shield up, right? Which is not, I'm saying, like, in a normal situation, you shouldn't do that. If someone's interested in you and they perk your interest, you shouldn't right away be like, what do you want? But then he explained it again. He's like, I'm just interested in you, and you caught my attention, but I want to get to know you, and I'm not going to be able to get to know you here. I'm like, oh. I was like speechless a little bit. Like, I wasn't expecting someone to be straightforward with me. And so I gave him my number that night. And the next day, he's like, he hit me up and he's like, asking me where I live. And I'm very secretive where I live. And I wasn't going to tell him. He's like, long story short, he gets the vicinity of, it's like, oh, it was.
Yeah, that's a little bit extra at that point.
But it was, but it wasn't. It was, what it was straightforward, because he was like, I'm trying to get to know you. If you want a texting buddy, you can go on Bumble. And I was like, oh, excuse me, okay. And so that again,
game right there.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's like straightforward game. That's like, that's not even game, bro. That's just, I'm not playing with you. That's
game right there. Trust me.
And so,
but just being straight up apparently is game nowadays, Pop. I mean,
right.
not being weak is game. Like, it's the bar has been lowered pretty far.
Basically. And so, and that's the rest of that story that I'll tell. But that is someone that, like, that has that capacity to be straightforward is what I'm looking for. and it happened at a freaking club, at one of the clubs that I hate the most, actually, like one of the most ghetto clubs, actually.
Which
Awful
one?
there.
And I agree with what you're saying. I think the environment definitely has a huge factor of your perception going in of what to expect. But I like how you didn't absolutely rule it out, because I feel like just absolutely being like, hey, I'm not picking up any dudes at the club. Like, that's a pretty hard line in the sand. But if it's like, hey, somebody comes up and talks to me correctly and they seem kind of like a top shelf kind of guy, then yeah, maybe I would get his number or give him my number and maybe we can connect somewhere else. But like, I'm not going home from the club with you, because that's not what I'm looking for. And that's probably what a lot of the people here are looking for. So I can see why you would go in with a bit of a preconceived notion of, it's most likely that I'm not going to meet somebody here that I'm looking for, because they're not looking for the same thing I am. Whereas if you were going to your, I don't know, your fitness class, or you had a art painting thing, or you had an art painting thing, or you were, I don't know, a rock climber or whatever. You went to like some club that you were a part of and you met somebody there. You're like, oh, well, I already know we have something in common. Like, just like you said with the military, you guys had common interest from the military. So it was kind of like, all right, cool. Like we can meet a common interest and then go out and take it from there. The club doesn't really give you, I mean, everybody's common interest is going to the club. That's not much of a common interest, right? So
yeah, I disagree with you right there, Frank, because look,
Poppy loves the club.
Yeah, I party. I get my little party on. You know what I'm saying? So because females go to the club 100% to get attention from guys. There is no way around it.
I disagree.
No, I don't want to hear
Only reason I disagree is because
talk about
I've only
going
went to
to
the
girls'
club
night because you could have did that shit at your own house with your girlfriend drinking wine. You know you go to the club because it's full of men that gonna get you drunk for free. You know that. That's how it works. The same thing with bars.
My friends are like that. I'm the complete opposite. When I go to the club, I'm genuinely going just to have a good time with my friends. I mean, yeah, it's cool to go out to dinner, which I prefer that. But if they want to go to the club, I mean, cool. But I never went to the club looking for attention from guys.
What are you wearing? What do you be wearing when you go to the club?
When I go to the club, I don't go dressed like I'm going to church, but I honestly don't go half naked either, because I feel like, not trying to be funny, but if you go half naked, I mean, you're already basically telling a man like, oh yeah, I want attention. And I don't like that kind of stuff. I mean, I get attention with sweatpants on. So imagine going to the club and your shirt is like halfway up your behind.
So
like,
you're saying it's a level to it.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, levels to it. I go genuinely
to have
a good time. I don't like attention like that.
You married, so I'm gonna leave you out of this. So
it was before I was married. It was way before I was married. I didn't
say you are a married woman, and I got respect for married people, so I'm gonna leave you out of it. But Minka, you don't like attention, baby?
I love attention. I'm going out half naked all the time. You saw my dress. That thing was see-through.
I know. I would.
Poppy keeps coming back to that. He's like,
I know. And I was like, damn, she was lit last night. I was like, she was twerking. I was like, woo wee.
I was not twerking.
So that looked like twerking to me, but okay.
It's like, okay.
I was not twerking. I've gotten a little too old to be twerking. I will say that. For me personally, like how I feel about myself, like I can do it. And there's nights where I get down, especially if it's just a night where my girlfriends and I are literally just having fun. Ooh, I look like a stripper. Like, it's beautiful. But I'm not doing that for the difference is actually I'm doing that for myself, and I'm having a good time and showing off my dancing skills with my girlfriends. And it is getting attention. I do like that attention to a certain extent.
At least you're honest. Thank you, Poppy.
Yeah,
at least you're honest.
100% being honest. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to sit there and say that, like, I'm doing it to catch the attention of men. It's more of just the attention in general, having fun. Like, what did he say? What did he say? Men never notice. You just do. What is it? Men never notice. You just do it for yourself. You're the fucking coldest. But then you're also doing it for other women. Like, the reality is, like, I got more compliments from girls last night and DMs from girls saying, like, where did you get that dress? Which is actually from a line that I'm coming out with in January, which is why I wear those dresses out. It's side note.
Okay, well, I get that because you're throwing that little nugget in now, like, okay, that's a marketing strategy and blah blah.
No,
I get
but even
that.
before that, I was dressing like that, so it was just more like I'm throwing it out there, so in case anyone ever sees it and they want that dress.
Late for you right there.
But
I said that's the laying her right there. That's the
No,
bougie
but
I be talking
it's
about.
Probably shooting shots. Shots
oh my
fired.
god. He's just shooting shots. He's not shooting a shot. He's shooting shots at me. I love it.
He's got the sprayer. He's like,
Oh, I know.
he's got the
I don't
he's got the
understand you,
mini
like,
gun.
yo.
He's got the mini gun.
And that's not a bad thing. I
No,
told you,
man,
I
shoot
love
your
bougie
shots.
girls.
I love it, man. Shoot your shots. I love seeing snipers just.
He's trying to go for all headshots here. He
I
is not no
know.
crippling shots.
No, but the beautiful thing between me and Poppy is that we're honest with it. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna ask me like, oh, do you like attention? Can you answer it? And I'm gonna be like, I don't do it
I
for
wouldn't expect
attention.
nothing
Like,
less from Poppy.
hell yeah.
I wouldn't
I
expect nothing
definitely do it
less.
for the I do it for the attention and I like the attention. The difference is that what is your primary purpose and how are you treating yourself? My primary purpose is to go out and have fun. How am I treating myself is with dignity and respect. So I'm not like
True.
What'd you say? I wasn't twerking last night in that dress.
So one of the so you ain't find interesting none of the guys from last night. Obviously, you ain't give out your number or not. But did you saw
No.
one guy remotely that you like? Oh, he's sexy. If he come to me, because females plan shit like this. Females,
Yeah.
Oh,
they look
100%.
Yeah,
You are absolutely right.
if he come to me, I'm gonna go ahead and
sad. No,
Yeah.
sometimes females doesn't say nothing, but I got a simple rule, man. If I catch a girl looking at me more than 2 times, she wants me to come holler at her. That's
Yeah,
that's
because
the
that's
old,
exactly what it is. That's women shooting their shot.
exactly. Exactly. That's what it is. If she just look at you and give you a little smile, you better go home, buddy, because she giving you the open. She giving you
Yep,
the
no,
ball
it's the
right there.
invitation.
That's
It's
the
the invitation.
opening.
We
Yeah.
and that's how we kind of opened with this was women don't often shoot their shot, but they set the men up in a position for him to shoot his shot. That's them
Right.
shooting their shot.
Yep.
So Minka, she messed up last night because she potentially missed out of her love of her life last night because I'm pretty sure one of those 10 guys could have been a perfect husband,
You are
material, whatever
absolutely
she
right. I
looking
came
for.
home and
But-
I cried my eyes out. I was
But
so
she's
sad.
gonna have another 25 in her DMs tonight, so it's okay.
it's all good.
Let's be
He
real.
probably
She
Throw
posted
them
her
dice
story,
out.
so she got Poppy up in the DMs along with
I'm
some of the other
fucking
guys.
dead.
I'm always on her DMs. I'm telling you, I saw her last night. And I forgot what I said. I was like, damn, baby. You was doing it like that? You know,
Oh
Minka's
my
my
God.
baby.
You know what? I'm gonna say this. Poppy's actually really fucking respectful and really cool. What did he say? Let's look at it real quick. I'm so
I send you a new picture and all of that. So don't open that.
shut up.
I just play.
He's-
I send you some
nothing even
airplane.
crazy. It was actually really nice. It was like you looked absolutely amazing. Happy 2022. Keep on your grind. All the dreams are gonna come true. So like, shut up, Poppy. You're a great person.
Yeah. That's classy. That's classy. Like that's a classy shoot your shot. Hey, you look amazing. Like
That was very classy.
who doesn't want to hear that? That's actually just like a nice thing to say to somebody, right? Like, you know what? You look amazing tonight. Like, how do you not smile at that?
But yeah, but now
I'm
let's
gonna
press
tell
the.
you.
Go ahead. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was gonna say now let's press the issue now because now the stuff that we're talking about, we're not even since Primal mentioned Bumble and Tinder and all this stuff, now it's becoming a hell of a lot more easier. Just not even going to the club. Like, okay, I see the person at the club, I see the person here. Let me just now try to figure out where they at in Instagram, where they at on Facebook, where they at in Tinder and Bumble. And once I do that, okay, I can look at you from a distance, feel some kind of energy vibes at a distance, and then when I get off, I can, or I'm there for like 10 feet. Let me just get on my phone real quick and shoot my shot that way. That's pretty much, it's an extra of a lesser blow for guys to go that way and shooting their shot versus with women. Women still pretty much, like I said, personally, 60 guys, 10 guys that Poppy is, joke around about. But in the DMs, it might be 1,000. Multiply that by 10. And then 10 tomorrow.
No, it's for real.
So
Because the guys have like no, I shouldn't say no, and I shouldn't speak for all guys, but guys, it's super easy to shoot your shot on Instagram or whatever. There's no like, all right, she didn't respond, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you're on with your day. It takes 2 seconds, and you're not losing face out there in the world in front of other people. You're just like, hey, I sent my text. We'll see what she says. I mean, it's just like a no
It depends
loss,
on
right?
the text that's being sent, but yeah.
Well, if you're just like, hey, like, how you doing or whatever. Like, and if you don't respond to that, okay, then all right, whatever. Like, you move on with, you just keep it moving, right? But if she responds, then okay, maybe you pick up a conversation. Like, there's nothing to be lost. You don't lose anything with that, I guess, other than maybe just looking a little like maybe looking a little desperate almost if you're a guy that's sending that all the time. But other than that.
But I think those social media dating thing, bro, I think that was the worst thing that could ever happen, yo. Because
I think so too.
To be honest with you, look, I never met a girl off the internet. I'm a face-to-face kind of guy. And listen, I just barely got to social media literally this year. You see what I'm saying? So
I'm 50-50, bro. It hit for me. It was like, and I'll be honest, like I'm so old school when Facebook was just done Facebook, and I was on it like 50 times and changed again. When I left from Jersey and I came down, I was introduced to POF, and that was pretty much my way of internet dating. And this is because a homeboy introduced me to it. And then that was pretty much my thing for a minute, trying to figure that out. Because that was weird just to go from like, like Mika was saying and Yana was saying, like, let me just approach you personally. Hi, how you doing? What's your name? I like you, blah, blah. Versus like, now I got to go through this whole little, give me the best pictures and let me get these certain pictures. Let me get a picture of my car. Maybe like me showing me like a little screenshot of me cooking some meals or a bottle of wine, like some dumb stuff like that. And then that was my way of baiting them in, because I'll get some comments or I'll reach out some others, and it was a back and forth, up and down. So yeah, I felt more comfortable that way. And I think a lot of guys would be too, versus now it's like you come across a girl, let's say someone like Mika wearing that, it could be in the clubs or it could be a little bit less outside in the streets, just being a little bit less with these sweatpants, not the sweatpants. And now it's like, okay, how do I go with this? So I don't know.
Yes, that because like I say, I'm kind of like, I'm in my early 30s, so like I never, like, my friend used to laugh at me actually, because my friend being on since MySpace day, I never had none of that shit.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Facebook,
MySpace, Hoover.
I don't even know what that is.
I never heard of that one.
That was before MySpace.
Yeah, I'm always face to face, and to me, the reason why I say that is because social media fuck everything up, man. Like, people don't got no more social skills no more.
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
I'm
a good smooth talker. I can talk a girl out of her panties. Like, if I get in the right situation, I can do that. See what I'm saying? But I'm a dumbass when it comes to social media, yo, because that's not my game.
Yeah.
So and the reason why most people is doing the social media thing is because people, especially men, scared to talk to female face to face. I ain't gonna say scared, but like,
yes,
they are scared. My man Primo said it perfect. He said it like, yeah, you get turned down, you go about your day. When you get turned down face to face, it's kind of like more embarrassing, especially at the club. So yeah, men gotta be careful how you approach a woman out the club. Like, I'm gonna use Minka for example. She was out last night with her hunger, right? If one of those weirdo guys that was walking right by her yesterday would have said something to her, she would embarrass that dude most likely.
Yeah,
but that's, hold up. So I'm gonna say something real quick. What I do is not embarrass a guy, because it is hard to approach a female. That's what I've.
Yeah, you recognize that.
That's a big.
You recognize that.
I know you would have did it on purpose. What I'm trying to say was,
what I'm saying,
you would have said it like he would have felt embarrassed. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't say you would have put a whole.
No. But you do have a point though, because that's just me. I see girls on the regular that will embarrass a dude that will try.
Yes.
If I was a different girl and he approached me and I wasn't interested and I thought he was weak or weird or ugly or whatever it is, a lot of girls will look at him like, what's wrong with you? Why are you even talking to me? Or like, I've seen some ruthless things, and all the dude was trying to do was talk to the girl. But that's the problem that I'm trying to say, is like, that's a part of the submitting part that women have taken into such a we've been so like I said, like, it's the roles of kind of reverse, where like before women were more not allowed to do as many things. Now they're so high and mighty that they think that that's okay to embarrass a dude. And what that does at the end of the day, they're like, those are the same women that are saying like, How come I never get approached by a guy? How come I don't have a relationship? How come no guy ever wants to talk to me? How come, you know what I mean?
They're not getting approached by the guys they want. That's the thing.
Yeah,
They're getting
but
approached by a
at
lot
the
of
same,
guys, but not
you're
the
not
ones
gonna
they
get,
want.
but you're not gonna get approached by the guys that you want when you're being a bitch to all the other guys that are approaching
Oh,
you too.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I'm
100%.
trying to
Yeah.
say. That's what I'm
Mhm.
trying to say. Every guy that's approached me that shot their shot, I am very courteous and I'm like, thank you so much, but I'm not interested. Like,
Trust me, us guys appreciate that because it's like it's
Yeah.
a problem. And then and back to what the other one said about the friends or just the random girls that are being bitches or their type might not even be their type.
Mhm.
And that's the
Yep.
issue too. They need to recognize that too. That's why I kept saying, and more so, I'm even pressing the issue was, I feel women today. I hope all of them, but it's realistically they're not. I wish all women, if you see somebody you like, just shoot your shot. You know, like I said, Yana, for example, she said, "Hey, he seemed like he wasn't going to do
They
it.
won't.
He just seemed a little bit, hesitant. So I just went ahead to make it easier for him. Hey, do you want to come along and hang out with us?" And then it went from there. They vibed, and everything went smoothly. It works.
but that's also an intro. That was just like a girl will like turn and like keep looking at a guy and like bat her lashes as like an invitation. That's a subtle way of like having an invitation
Did
too.
you bat
So
your
like look,
lashes, Ayana? Did you like?
no, I'm not saying
No.
I'm saying like the way Ayana, you're a great example of purity of like the way it should be of that situation. It doesn't mean that you have to make yourself seem less and be dainty and like Bambi, like the cartoon movie.
Mhm.
Bambi's like falling all over the place, like with the big bold eyes. It just means that
Yeah,
you're softer. You make it softer.
I agree.
Poppy,
You,
you
you
got
know,
things?
I got something about the social media because you brought that up, and I
Okay.
think that just exacerbates the issue. What I mean by that is beautiful women on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, they're getting, it's not just now it's not just guys that are out at the club or in the same town. It's guys in different
Countries.
cities, guys that live in different countries.
Yes.
Like you have these quote unquote high value men that are living in Miami and they're shooting their shot at a lady that lives in California saying, "Hey, I'll fly you out." So it's not just like, okay, let's say a pretty woman was in a town of 100,000 people. Okay, that's a lot of people that were, let's say 50,000 were guys. Okay, that's a lot of guys that were probably going to shoot her shot. And this is before Instagram. Now that she's out there and she puts a couple good looking pictures on
Millions.
Instagram and guys are scrolling through and they're like, "Oh, this girl is looking good. I'm going to DM her," right? And this guy lives in New York and she lives in, Baton Rouge. And next thing you know, he's flying her out. So it's even more guys shooting their shot. So now there's even more guys shooting their shot. So why would women shoot their shot? Like they just, it's an overabundance of snipers out there and they're just wrecking the game.
And even still, I feel like that's a low blow on the guys too, because you get more simps that way too. And I'm just gonna be petty on this one. It's like women's, if you're doing that online dating thing, and if you're a big girl, and I'm just gonna just throw it out there, if you're big, you're big. If you're fat, you're fat. Don't be taking these little pictures and hiding your guts and these little dumb angles. Don't be doing this caked up makeup.
Photoshopping.
Yeah, don't. Oh my God. Don't be doing all this little caked up makeup, then Photoshop the caked up makeup. You even show
Everybody's
like this
lying,
part.
Angela.
Yeah, don't. I know, bro, but don't do that because you set. It is because the women would set themselves up for a rejection, and then they get in their feelings. So I just want to say that don't do that, because if a guy actually shooting a shot, and because I dated somebody that was like, I saw the picture, they looked like they had like a Betty, but this years ago, had like a Betty Boop and this and that third. And when I saw him, it was yeah, it was more than what they saw, but I was still cool with it. The vibes was great, and this and that third. And then after when she said something negative to me, then it was like, okay, let's talk now. Let's go. So don't.
And that's why I can do the online thing.
Yeah,
bro.
too much entrapment, bro.
That's 100% facts. Like half the girls that I go out with don't look like what they look like online at all.
Shit.
And I guess put
That's
your
fine.
best foot, like take a great picture and put your best foot forward, but have it be actually you, right? Don't have it be a photo from 10 years ago.
Full body picture.
Yeah, have it be actually
At
you.
least
Don't have
one.
it. Don't have it be a 10-year-old photo. Don't have it Photoshop. Get professional photos. Sure, put on a nice dress. Awesome, but have it be you, like legit you. Past year or so, that kind of thing.
I've seen women with like 50 wrinkles and Photoshop the hell out of it, looking smooth like butter. You see them in person, look like the California raisins. Stop.
Because
Yeah.
here's
Ah.
the funny thing is like I truly believe there's actually somebody out there for everybody, right?
It
And
is.
there's somebody for everybody
That's
out
not
there.
true,
And
Primal.
well, there's somebody that's gonna like you, right? There's somebody that's gonna like you.
That's not true either.
Even if you're ugly, there's another ugly person out there that likes you. Like
Facts.
you all are gonna work
Facts.
it out. Like so don't be trying to like scam other people into liking you. Just be who you are, and
Yep.
you'll find your people. Like I
Two
don't
ugly
know.
people have cute babies now. Two
I'm
ugly people
gonna,
have
I'm
cute
gonna
babies.
say this.
Yeah, they do.
That's not true. That's not true. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the numbers tell you it's not true. It's way more women than men in this world.
Well,
So
that is true. That's a
every
fact.
woman, like one guy, is gonna be over 1 billion women. We had a match. You see what I'm saying?
Hey,
I guess
it
what I meant
depends on
is
where you
for
put
the
yourself.
women. For the women,
Yeah.
just be who you are, because there's gonna be a guy for you. How about that? For some of you guys out there that are looking ugly, I'm sorry, you're just gonna lose the game. I don't know what else to tell you. Yeah.
I don't know many guys that are like photoshopping their pictures to look to
Nah, we're not
Oh,
photoshopping.
guys start doing it now.
I'm not
They're
saying
even getting
I'm
the
not,
fake apps.
I'm not saying that it doesn't
What?
happen. I'm just saying as
Fake
men,
ass.
like there's more women that are faking whatever they look like online than men.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to meet a guy who's faking and photoshopping themselves on an online dating site. That would be
You know what
hilarious.
guys do embellish about though? I read up on this. Guys lie about their height. Their height and their
I think
income.
you have to. Okay, that I
Their
never heard
height
that.
and their
Talk about that.
So
Let's talk
online
about-
dating. Here's the thing I've noticed. Men tend to embellish or lie about
Money.
their money
Yeah.
/ lifestyle, B, how tall they are. Women tend to embellish about their looks. They use older photos. They take angles that are flattering. They tend to, men kind of lie about money and height. Women lie about looks. That's been my observation.
I agree.
You're right. You're rounding money,
Mhm.
probably because just to let you know, females, I'm only 6 foot, 165, 170 pounds. So I don't lie about mine.
Hey, I would give Primal that one, but the money part, I know some guys do. I never, in my circle, it's never been that way. So in the beginning, it is funny. I tell women, especially if I'm single and I'm like dating, or especially if I'm busy, I always say broken busy. I always say that. So you can take, and two, for me as a guy, this is how I weed out. Yeah, this is how I weed out the actual real women. If you're about me and I'm about you, we're good. So that's always been my motto. But as far as the tallness goes, yeah, I'm with Poppy too. I don't say I'm 6 feet. You're just gonna know regardless. That's just it.
It's kind of
I think
crazy.
I'm still growing because some people just like, you just look taller than 6 feet. Okay, so there you go. You had something to say, Ami, because you got a little excited a moment ago.
Yeah, just because again, like, I born and raised in LA. It's like I know so many people. It's not just men, but the majority are men. Where it's like they live this lavish lifestyle, and they're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, borrowing money from people. Like it's bad, and I'm just like, how do you do that? Don't you wake up with panic attacks, bro? Like, damn, like, and they lie to an extent that's like insane, and I think it does more damage. Just like a girl that catfishes and like hides her gut and like smooths out all her wrinkles. It's like that's gonna come out. You can't hide that shit forever.
And then why you get mad? Like that, I don't understand that. Why you get mad at the guy? Like, and then make it so bad when they're because I had this too. You know, there's something about you, a feature.
They couldn't.
Yeah. You know you're that type of person that certain features about you that you feel insecure about, and then when the guy person like, oh, I hope you're okay because like I got a little good, or I like don't do all that now. You should did all that during the processing
beforehand.
Yeah.
What about your side? Your baby mama, you don't let her slide with the gup a little bit?
I'm good with that. I mean, be you. But I'm just saying, as far as the dating goes, don't hide it, don't fake it. Like I said, me personally, in a dating aspect, especially when people do this online thing, show one full figure of you, one authentic picture, like Primal just said. Anything else you want to glamour up, that's you, boo-boo. So I know when you put the makeup on, you throw the wig on, you throw the weave, the eyelashes, that's how you present yourself outside the door. But behind closed doors, I want to see the real you, so I know what's going on. When I turn over, like I said, and I'm keeping 100 too, even a fucking process, excuse my language, ladies, if we're sitting there having sex, you messing up my pillows with all that caked up makeup. We got an issue. We got an issue.
Then
Eyelashes here, half this
Excuse
makeup
me?
there.
I'm sorry. Break that down for me. Excuse me, sir. Break that down for me.
You
You
talking
gotta
about
go home and explain that to wifey.
Yeah. You gotta explain that to your wife because your wife literally like I take off my makeup every single night before I go to bed. But
We're talking about the love
if
making
something
process.
were like I've also picked up my purse
Yeah, you
and
don't
there's
need makeup for
eyelashes
all
that are
that.
like
No, you don't.
for
You don't need no
what?
makeup for love making.
Yeah.
No, I mean, after a certain extent, absolutely. But like, especially in the beginning, like you can't blame girls when they're like trying to look their best, especially in a new
Oh no, I'm
relationship.
down for that, but just know, I'm just saying, have the mindset, the forethought. If you're over that guy's house, you know what? Matter of fact, take him over your house. If you're gonna do all that, so you can see the repercussions of all the makeups on your pillow sheets and everything else, and you got to go wash it. You come to my house and you got all that makeup and stuff going on. I'm close to like the natural. Yeah, I'm close to the
Oh,
natural. Yeah, don't do that. Don't
you're
do that.
so unappreciative.
Unappreciative of what?
You know how much work that makeup takes?
50 pounds of
Or
glitter?
maybe they should just get
Yeah. I got like special. I
Wetproof
got
makeup.
special glue for my glitter too.
What?
Yes.
What?
Absolutely.
A guy is like three.
I have
and a-
special glue for my glitter that goes on my eyes or on my cheeks that has to be removed with special adhesive as well.
All right, because
It's
I love you.
makeup.
This is for not you. I let Poppy go ahead and handle you. But this is for the other ladies out there. For the other ladies out there, I'm looking y'all dead in the eye. Guys do not want all that extra makeup and this, that, there. If you want to look good for your man or look presentable, do you, boo-boo. But
what about the girls
if you
that are
choose
not
your
pretty?
Oh, that's cool
That's
too.
what I'm
Do,
trying to.
do
That's what
everything
I'm
you
talking
want to
about.
do.
You're
I'm
saying,
just saying,
guys. Here's the issue.
A
Guys
lot of
like
them
you
aren't
are
pretty.
saying. That's what I'm trying to. This is what I'm trying to talk about. Guys like what you're saying. You're saying we guys don't like makeup. We want a natural
No,
girl.
no.
Blah 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 blah. Hold
no,
on, let me
we're
finish it.
okay.
Let
Go
me
ahead.
finish
Go ahead.
it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But when you got a girl that's transformed by makeup, and then you're saying like, oh, I would have never said yes to her because she looks like a what we were on one, I think just yesterday that the guy was like, let's just be real. If a girl takes off all her makeup and shaves her head, she looks like the guy you play basketball with.
Oh yeah, Art. Yeah, treat them like human
Yeah,
beings.
but
Yeah.
right, but like the whole point isn't like you're this isn't for me. Like I'm comfortable with it, but I have a lot of girlfriends that do have this fear, and when they've been in relationships, the man will never see them without makeup. They will wake up with makeup, or they will wake
I
up
can't
early
do that.
just to make sure.
That's
But
not true.
They're not being their true self.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
but
not true
you
love. If you're looking for that, and I'm not trying to like knock you down that one, but those type of women need to really understand, like, you're not really being your authentic self. And just like I said, that all that joking I was doing, that's just me being a little bit petty because that's what majority of guys think. If you're coming, if you choosing me, woo, thank you. You're choosing me to sleep with me, and then you come to my house. Guess what? The wheels start turning in the guy's head, and then when that makeup come off, and then when they're out the door, I gotta wash my fucking bed sheets. She could have done that. We could have went over her house. So what's going on?
I say,
Amen.
baby, when the lights are out, I don't need that makeup on. I can't see your
Facts.
face
You ain't
anyway.
gonna see it,
So
Okay, but I think that's the part where it's like you gotta. I'm just throwing this out there because I've seen it happen too many times where the guys
I
are
get
saying
it.
this,
I get
but
it.
then when the girls take off the makeup, the guys will say something rude as fuck, like, "Oh, I
well,
didn't
yeah,
realize
you got to
had
have some
bags," and, like,
social awareness, right? You can't just be like,
right,
whoa, what? You
but
can't be like, whoa, what the fuck happened to your face? Like, you can't
right,
have
but
that. Like, you got to be
but
like,
that's
oh,
why
baby, you look beautiful. Like, yeah.
exactly. But that's what I'm just trying to get to the point where you guys can say that part too, because just you'll hear me a lot where a lot of you guys like to play devil's advocate. I just like to like make sure that we say things like that because the people that listen to this stuff literally will only hear one part and go off and running. Like they hear,
Yeah, that's how
oh,
media is.
yeah, it's I only like guys that approach me. Yeah, that's right. Otherwise, you're a bitch. Like, no, it's not that way.
Beta.
Beta. What you had to say, Yana? Because you had your hands up.
Oh, sorry.
It was about the makeup. Oh, I think it's when she said, how I guess when you take off the makeup and guys be like, basically, what the fuck? I feel like the only way a guy can say that is if you're like caked up as fuck, and then when you take it off, you look like a completely different person. I've never been a fan of that, only because I just feel like I'm a fan of natural beauty too. I only wear makeup on occasions, sometimes it's okay. But it's like when I wear it, I still look the same. It's just enhanced. I don't want to take it off my husband and be like, what the fuck happened to your face? Like, it shouldn't get to that point to where when you do take off your makeup, a man is saying that to you. Maybe like, I mean, he's just expressing himself. Like, that's your fault. That's how I feel.
I mean, you should have saw the look I got the first time I took off my wig, right? When I met this lady back in my crib. My wig fell off. She was like, what is this, man? What is this? I've been lied to. You had this thick, luscious hair, and it was a lie. It was a lie.
Oh my God, I love it.
Hey, I know a guy who dated a girl, and she was enhanced, and they went to, I don't know, his place, her place, and next thing you know, some hair pulling got involved, and the whole thing just snatched off, and his mind said, hey, I'm already there, let me finish. But when he was done, he's like, never again. Never again.
The whole thing came off. I love it.
So guilty admission. I've had a number of hair extensions that I found, and I had to, put them in a plastic bag and give a phone call and say, hey, by the way,
I throw all that shit away.
I said, no, that stuff's expensive, man.
Some of these women
Primal
are gentlemen.
No, Primal savage. No, Primal savage.
So I say, hey, I got like 20 hair extensions. You need to come. You need to come. Well, but then here's the beauty part of it. They come back over, and then you get some more hair extensions in your hand. So you know what I mean?
Yo, I throw all that shit away.
You say you be collecting them for them just to help them out? You collect
Yeah, I just put them in a bag. They got to go get them sewn back in, man. So they'll come back over, and they got to come back over anyway, and then you knock them down again. That's how it goes.
Hell no! Hell no!
I'm so dead.
All right, guys. That's not a
Yo, I throw all that shit away. Females used to leave all type of shit at your house, especially earrings.
Yeah, they play them games, yeah.
Bracelets.
But I was okay with her coming back to get her hair extensions. You know
But
what
you
I
were
mean?
second round. That's why.
And I was a gentleman. I saved it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to. These are little tips, gentlemen.
That's
if you ever end
100%
up with
being
a
a
bed
gentleman, I'm
full
not
of
even gonna
hair
lie.
extensions, get a Ziploc bag, put that shit in there, call your friend up, and say, hey, baby. I got some of your stuff over here. You might want to stop by and come get it so you can go make an appointment and get that reattached. And they will be very thankful. I'm just saying. I might have played this game once or twice.
They're like,
I couldn't do it.
Thank you.
I couldn't do it because they get embarrassed. I'm telling you, women that I came across, if something happened, they're like, "Oh my God, my track came out," and then they'll play like it never happened. So, and I'll pretty much do like Poppy, throw that shit away in the trash somewhere and be done with it. Yeah.
Sometimes they call, did I leave my earring at your house? Nah, man, I threw that shit away.
Now I wouldn't do the jury. I would not do the jury, but
I throw all that shit away. All of it. Sometimes even they leave the little G strings at the crib, bro.
Oh wow.
It happens because you gotta understand I'm not saying all, but a lot of females they
leave
walk
their
around
mark.
without drawers anyway. So like it's not like out of the norm for them like to just put their clothes in bounce.
Yep.
That or it gets tossed behind the bed somewhere, and then everybody's trying to get going in the morning. You got to get to work, or you got to get to wherever. Everybody's kind of in a hurry, and people are just like, oh shit, I'll just.
You're giving them an excuse, Primal. Not Primal. I'm sorry, Primal. You're giving them an excuse because most women that, I come across, they'll put like some hair follicles over the bathroom and some dumb stuff just to show their, mark their territory.
Mark their territory.
Yeah. So the next chick come over like, oh my God. So a woman.
Well, that's why you got to clean. You got to clean.
You know what?
Thank you. As soon as you clean your lid, you gotta clean your house. You gotta do it. Stand in the bathroom. She's gonna leave her bunch of stupid ass blonde hairs in there, whatever color she might have that night, a bunch of makeup, and guess what? You gotta change the plastic bag on your trash because that's what females. Most females gonna look. That's the first thing female look in the trash can in the bathroom, because it's a lot of female shit like that. What's the shit they use to take the makeup off?
The little wiper. Yeah,
makeup wipe.
I got caught with that bullshit before, yo. I was like, yo, that was my nigga.
Hey, do you know why they do that though? Because on the flip side, we know how most women were like fucking detectives. Are you like? I had one girlfriend that was like, and I found 3 different colors of hair. None of them match mine. None of them are my length. La da 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 da. She goes into and she's like FaceTiming me as she's doing her investigative work, and she'll clean apart like his whole house and wipe everything down so that the following week when she comes back, if that shit has like any sort of follicles, she knows who's been there. She knows what's been going down. And I'm just like, that's so much work.
That's extra.
Guys, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help you I know it's out of we kind of switched up goalposts a lot on this one, but I'm gonna give you some game on that one to counter that. Start hanging out with your aunties and your aunties and get that little wigs and weaves and stitches all over you. Then you come home, you got them little braids. So when she start looking, she got that. So there you go, fellas.
But I was gonna say, low key, having daughters is kind of nice.
Oh my god!
I'm like, baby, that's my daughter's hair. I don't know what you're talking about.
There you go, fellas. Got you some game right there, 101 to counter that.
2022 demon time, apparently.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
but
I'm just saying what it is. No, and I don't think there's nothing demon about like if you're all in agreement,
joking.
like if everybody's all in agreement, hey, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing, and everybody's open to doing their own thing, then there's nothing demon about that. Just be upfront, and also, but then like you don't want to rub it in people's faces either. Like if you're dating multiple people, you don't need to like leave somebody else's hair dryer out on the counter when they come over. That's just kind of rude. So,
but shouldn't you,
right?
Shouldn't a female know that you dated multiple people? You started messing with her. That should be like an unspoken at that point.
I mean,
wait, what?
Like I've had that discussion with people. They'll be like, "Hey, are we exclusive?"
Like if I start messing with Minko, right? She should know that I got all the girls. If we get started.
Yeah, but some women doesn't.
Some guys, I don't know that.
Bro.
No,
Yeah,
I don't know that. I'm not like I'm
You
not
have
that.
to-
I'm the dumb bitch. It's like, oh, we're just dating each other, so that means we are dating each other.
I ain't gonna lie too. I'm kind of dumb too.
I
on that
don't
one,
fuck
'cause
around, right?
That's a dangerous assumption.
For real. What make you think he involved with somebody else?
Which is why I ask. Which is why now.
Well, if you ask, then yeah, cool. If you ask, then cool. But
I had to learn through an experience of like, oh shit, I wonder how many times I thought we were just dating and it wasn't.
So it's like this. Let's say me and Minka messing around, right?
How do we go back to that?
There you go, Primal.
There you go, Primal. Slide that in.
No, the reason why I gotta use this as an example because my homegirl over here, she married, so I don't like I said, I like marriage.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So look, I
Go
gotta
on, Pappy.
she's
Hey,
a single one.
let my king talk.
So let's say me and her messing around. Let's say I met her 3 weeks ago, whatever. And do you start counting after me and you have sex, or we start counting after we go out on a date? How that works for you? Because I start counting after we smash.
Are you talking about for the relationship goes?
Yeah, like a dating.
Relationship start.
I think dating is, to me, when people say dating is like fucking. That's the translation.
Okay.
See, there should be like a dictionary of words so that all of human civilization can have the same consistent words. Because for me, dating is we're dating exclusively. If we're fucking, then that's just called like we're sleeping together. We're fucking.
That's dating.
We're not even going on dates. We're not even going on dates.
No, that's part
Dating
of
is just
I think that's part of dating. I think that's part of dating.
Yeah, that is part of dating. When
That's part
people
of
say I'm
dating.
dating, that means they fucking. That's
I think
what
that's
I
part of
heard.
dating.
Right. But you are fucking. But what I'm saying is that also means that you're not dating other people. But now I learned that's also dating
Why not?
exclusively.
Yeah.
But I learned that's dating exclusively. So now I ask beforehand, and I get to make the decision if I'm gonna like be fucking before or after the exclusivity.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. I think the phrase, something to the effect of like, "Are we an exclusive thing?" Like that, you have to iron it down to that level, and that's either a yes or a no, and you're either okay with that or you're not, and then you can make your decision depending on that.
But let me play devil's
Go ahead.
advocate too, though, because then I've also had several. Like, I'm gonna say this: even when you say, "Are we exclusive?" a lot of people have the tendency to think that doesn't pertain to having sex with other people.
Well, then that's weird.
I know. I'm telling you that everybody has a different definition of different things. Like
That's
it's
true
weird.
because, and I give
So
you
I guess
another
you
one.
just
My
say,
ex-
are we only effing each other? I guess you could
Here's
really break it
the
down to that
whiteboard.
level. Yeah.
Here's the whiteboard. Here are all the bullet points.
Yeah.
Check yes, check no. Which ones apply? Like
No, but before I could hold on, like I ain't finished making my point. Like I said, me and her is messing around, right? And then she let's say
He keeps coming back to
I
it.
love Poppy.
No, hold on, because I want to know like the female point of view to this. Like, and she turn around and be like, and then she asked me, "Oh, Papi, are you?" After me and her smash, whatever, like, "Oh, Papi, are you fucking somebody else?" And I'd be like, "Yes," right? Or I'll probably say some sarcastic shit. I'm always being sarcastic, like, "Man, that ain't none of your business, man. Like, just worry what me and you got going on right now." But let's just say I say yes, like, is that grounds for you to cut me off? Like, nigga, I'm done with you. This and that. I
got a yes from Yana.
Like, will you cuff a
you
man?
got a unanimous yes, sir.
Huh?
Yeah,
You got a unanimous yes.
You would cut me off?
But then again,
I mean,
at the
like,
same time,
Even if it
it's
wasn't
like,
established, like even if you
For
only been
real.
going
that's
out
what I
for
was about
like
to say. Even
yeah.
then again, it's like you should ask questions too. Like, don't assume that just because you guys
Right.
are messing around that it's just you. You have to ask questions.
Either
or
which
else you get
way,
feelings hurt.
yep.
Because
Either which
let,
way, it's a done because it's if I don't ask and I assume and you're doing it, I don't want you. If I do ask and it's no, and you're just being honest with me, I still don't
wanna
like
do it
the
no
way
more.
that sounds. Right, exactly.
Okay, this
I
this
like,
is why the fuck boys keep doing what they're doing,
but
because if that's the case, then they're gonna keep doing, they're gonna lie and keep doing them.
because
but
don't
the
like
thing is,
oh go ahead.
it just you gotta establish that before you start fucking around on a serious level. If you here's a rule of thumb that I have. If it's
But
somebody
you
that
don't
you're
know
just
when
like,
you're gonna fuck though.
no, but if it's
That's something that just happened.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm like, if after you fuck, you want to go fuck someone else, then maybe you don't like that bitch that much. That's my whole
No,
point.
that's
That's the way women.
Some people just
That's
do
the
it because
way.
that's just what they do.
yes.
Right,
Yeah.
100%. But I'm trying to give you ask the question on the woman's perspective. That is the way women think.
Okay.
It's well, then you didn't like me all that much. If you wanted to go fuck something else, I wasn't enough for you.
That's
I'm
not
not
true
your cup
either.
of tea.
I agree.
That's not
And
true.
that's and that's the way women see it. That doesn't mean if it's true or false or whatever it is. I'm saying that's
It's
how
just a
women
woman's
see it.
perspective.
So it's the
Yeah.
same thing for men. If Papi and I are dating, and I'm like, let's give a good analogy. If I'm, wow, I don't even have I just totally had a brain fart. But like, let's say something that you're looking for, I have a lot of it, and then I switch up on you, and I like ghost you for a couple of days. I give you no explanation, right? You're gonna see that as like super disrespectful. And then if you ask me about it, and I'm like,
No,
don't worry about it.
If we dating, I shouldn't be taken in any kind of way because to me,
Right,
it's
but
not counting.
your
We become
version of
boyfriend and
dating,
girlfriend.
right? But your version of dating exclusive is like the woman's version of dating. Period.
What is dating
Like that's
exclusive? I'm confused. Like,
I mean, it's just y'all
dating
two.
Only
Just y'all
dating
two.
each
it just
other.
means
but that's boyfriend and
exactly.
girlfriend at that point.
That's not boyfriend and girlfriend at that point. That's
This
just
is
Huh?
like
confusing,
Yeah.
though. This
that's
is
what I'm.
confusing, bro.
You
Yeah,
need
that's
a
now.
you need a spreadsheet at this point.
And that's why I'm saying like we need to have like a full on like we should all
God
get
damn,
together
I'm a
and, like,
jealous of
really have
Ayana.
a-
She married. She don't got to deal with this bullshit no more.
I know this is bullshit.
All these rules.
Hey,
Yeah.
I just learned what cuffing season actually is all about. Like, there's so many things someone's got to really like define it. But dating is just dating, and you're pulling around and getting to know people, right? It could be fucking, not fucking. It doesn't matter at that point. Dating exclusive is you're only dating each other, and then boyfriend and girlfriend is you're in a committed relationship with the title. It's really just about the title. Then like there's a whole bunch of other things, but the difference is that women, when they date, have that in the back of their heads, most women, that it's exclusive automatically. Whereas men don't gain that exclusivity or realize they actually like that girl until they get to know the girl, which is the problem really with the women, because women are supposed to stop and not fall in love and get to know the guy, but the majority don't do that. The majority
I was gonna
they're
say,
like,
Man, all these.
I was gonna say most people. Let's be real. Like at least in my experience, most people end up sleeping together by the second or third date anyway. So
Right.
how do you even really know if you want to be exclusive with that person by that point? Like
From
you've only
my-
hung out with them 2 or 3 times. It's kind of early, in my opinion, to be like, hey, it's just us. Like
see,
maybe
that
maybe
goes
you were
back to
dating
what
somebody
Poppy-
else. at the
Yeah,
same
and that
time.
goes back to what Poppy's saying, because now it's like, what she's saying and Yana saying, it's like, that's great. But now it seemed like with all the extra rules, it seemed like you got to actually sit down, have a meeting about these things.
Here's the
and take it
terms
from
and
there.
conditions. Terms
Yeah.
and conditions. Yeah.
But then if then it becomes a catch-22, like Poppy's saying. So if the woman is saying, hey, well, we just dating, okay, well, this is what I think dating is, so I'm free to still do me. And then we just threw out, now I thought exclusives was, if we're exclusive, meaning that
Boyfriend.
the girlfriend, boyfriend, everybody's together. And then she's saying no. So it's like, now we got to at least sit down. What do you think? Because I actually had somebody tell me, we're dating, I'm okay with you. We're not exclusive, we're not girlfriend, boyfriend, so you're free to do you, I don't care. And this is her from the beginning. And then down the line, when previously I was dating somebody else, and the fact that she was showing me more attention and leading toward that way of exclusiveness and the girlfriend and boyfriend, she happened to come over and did the whole snooping and anything else and found something from my past pops up and had a whole 360 attitude and just walks out the door. And I'm like, what was that about? She's like, okay. And I was like, all right. So my attitude then was like, well, at least she brought food. So I just went ahead about my business. And then I gave it a week, reached out to her like, hey, do you want to talk like an adult? Nothing ever happened. She just never responded. So I was okay, well, this is an immature woman that's supposed to be over the age of blah, 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 kids and all this stuff. So you're immature to me. And I just left it like that.
Oh, that's crazy, man. So she caught you up for that, man.
But she initiated it. That was the crazy part. She initiated an open relationship. And I took it as, like I said, I'm pretty much like, if it walks like a duck, is talking like that. Me and me could talk about this before. If it walks like duck, talk like that. So we're in a relationship and we're acting like girlfriend, boyfriend. I'm just gonna, and I know you got to assume you make an ass of yourself. So I'm gonna actually assume. So that's pretty much me. I literally got too much shit going in my life, bro, to be trying to play these games like that. I really got too much shit in my life. I'm gonna tell you this now. If I actually don't ask me, and I remember one text, for example. Somebody asked me, hey, what you doing the weekend? I'm good. I'm free. You're welcome to come to my house. Their dumbass response, so what time is good for you? Anytime you feel like coming over, I'm free. So what do you want to do? We'll talk about it when you get here. Come on.
Like a man with a plan.
Yeah.
Yo,
and
it's just crazy, man. All these rules, because like I don't be understanding these rules, man. When somebody said we're dating,
we gotta hire, like I said, we gotta hire now somebody, a third party, translator or a third party person for this now. So
I guess that just highlights the importance of clearly communicating what you want and not being afraid to just say what you want. Like, hey, I only want to date you. I only want to sleep with you. I hope that's the same way you feel about me. If that's what you want, then you got to clearly communicate that, right? But if you just don't say anything, then you're going to fall into a situation that you probably didn't want to happen because you didn't express what your requirements were, right?
Yeah.
So,
but women, I will say this to the women out there: definitely understand if you tell this and a guy actually being honest with you about it, and you're still claiming verbally you're fine with it. Do not get upset if you find hair follicles or some evidence, or you just overthinking something and assuming. So if you're assuming, it's pretty much on you at that point. So please have that. Please think twice about that. So because a guy gonna still do what a guy gonna do at that moment, unless you don't make it very clear. But if you're saying these things, they're gonna do what they're gonna do.
Guys, just don't be leaving hair extensions underneath your pillow, okay? That's just not gonna go well.
Yeah, because probably gonna bag it up for you.
You gotta clean that up. You gotta clean that up, all right? You gotta clean up those hair extensions.
Your house. Every time a female leave your house, fellas, vacuum, number 1. Number 2, clean your bathroom. And number 3, go on that floor, man, look for them goddamn earrings, bracelets,
makeup, white,
cushions,
all that bullshit. She trying to trap you, fam. She trying to trap you, man.
Have a separate trash and say, hey, baby, I need you to throw all your makeup and stuff in this bag because I'm gonna take this one right out. Only this trash here. This is your trash can.
You know what's crazy? The older you get,
you're rolling out plastic on the ground. You're like, don't worry about that. I'm just gonna clean up after we're done.
This is not a body.
We're not creepy. We're not creepy. This isn't creepy. This is sensual. I just want the place to be clean. I'm just gonna roll out this tarp here, okay?